Hello everyone, welcome to Satir Saya Nyan Academy. This is Priyanka Gavas. So, today we are going to study the Road Not Taken poem from Beehive Book of Standard 9. This poem is written by Robert Frost. So, before starting, I will give you a brief introduction of Robert Lee Frost was an American poet. He was born on 26 March 1874 in San Francisco, California, and died on 29 January 1963 in Boston. He had written many poems like The Road Not Taken, Stopping by Wood on a Snowy Evening, Mending Wall, Nothing Gold Can See, and many more. His work was earlier published in England and later on in America. Before starting, I will give you the brief introduction of the poem. In this poem, the poet talks about the two roads, two paths, out of which he has to select any one. He cannot walk on both the roads together, so carefully he has to select one. Now here, these roads are compared to different options that we people have to face in our life. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to choose the correct path. We also get confused as to which one we have to select. Now, let us begin reading the poem. I will explain it to you and we will discuss the literary devices also. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now here the poet is telling us as he started and reached a forest, there were two roads, two separate ways were there, and they were in a yellow wood. Now yellow wood means the leaves of the trees in the forest has turned yellow because of the autumn season. Now here also in this picture you all can see there are two different ways, two ways are there, and this forest has turned yellow. This is because of the autumn season. Now here in the second line, poet is feeling very sorry because he cannot walk on both the roads as he is the only one traveler, one man. So he cannot walk on both the roads together. There he stood for the long time thinking on which road to select. Then he looked down at one of the road as far as his eyes could see, till it curved into undergrowth. Now why this poet is confused, why he is standing there and staring at one road? Because he cannot decide which one to select. He actually wants to select the better one, but that's why he stood long at one place deciding as which one to choose. Now see the meanings of the word yellow wood. Yellow wood means yellow leaves in the forest. Bent. Bent means curved. And undergrowth means dense growth of trees. Now we will see the literary devices of the first stanza. The poet has used metaphor in the first stanza. Now first I will explain you all what is metaphor. Metaphor is used to compare two different things or ideas. Now in the first stanza you all can see two different roads diverged in a yellow wood. Now here two roads are compared to the choices that we get to make in life. Then the yellow wood. Here yellow wood is compared to the forest where we can see the decomposing leaves which turns yellow in the season of autumn. It stands for the place where people have been living since a long time. And then in the last line the poet has used the word undergrowth, which refers to the unknown world of darkness. Now we will see the rhyme scheme of the first stanza. The rhyme scheme is AB, AB. Now I will tell you why it is like this. See here the word wood. I will mark this word as A. Now see here the second word is both. We will mark it as B. Now see the last word of the third and fourth line is stood and could respectively. It rhymes with the word wood. So we will mark them as A. Now see the last word undergrowth. It rhymes with the word both. So we will mark it as B. So altogether the rhyme scheme becomes A B A A B. Now we will move to next stanza. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the. So now here the poet chose the other road, but he found both the road equally fair. Both the roads were equal. Very good. So out of them he chose one road. Then he thought that he will take this road because it was a better option, it was a better choice. That road was grassy and it was not used by many people, but the other road was used by many people. So many people had walked on it and the road was very clean and as there was no grass. So here you all can see the poet chooses one road which was not used by many people, and on the second road there is no grass, so it means that it is used by many of the people. So he thought that he will choose the road which is less traveled by the people. So as he started walking, he found that this road is also used by the people. At the starting point it was little grassy, so he chose that. But later on, he found that this road is also worn out by the people, means it is also used by the people, and many people had walked over the road. Now we will see the meaning of the difficult words. Fair. Now here, fair means as good as the other one. Then claim. Claim means better option, and wanted where. Wanted where means had not been used, means the road which was not being used. Now we will see the literary devices. Here in the second stanza, the poet has used simile. Now simile is used when the similarities between two different things are shown. In simile, we do the direct comparison where we find the word like or as. Here you all can see in the first line itself, the poet has made the use of simile which says, then took the other just as fair. Now here the direct comparison of road is done with as. Now, the second literary device the poet has used is alliteration. Now, alliteration means the series of words which start with the same sound. Now, here you all can see in the third line, wanted where the sound of W is being repeated. Here you all can see wanted where WW is repeated. So, this is alliteration. So, apart from this, the poet has also used the third literary device, that is enjambment. Now, enjambment means one line follows into the other without a punctuation mark. So, now you can see over here, there is no punctuation mark in the second last line, and the idea is continuing in the last line. There is no punctuation mark over here, and the same line is continuing over the next line. So, this is called as enjambment. And the rhyme scheme is also the same as it was in first stanza, that is A B A A B. Now we will move to third stanza. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. At knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Now here the poet says that both the paths on that particular morning were equal. They were similar. Both of them had leaves on them and no one had walked over on the road. The road was still green. It has not turned black. That means no one has walked on either of the paths. So the poet thought that today he will choose one path and he will choose the next path on some any other day. Now he also knew that this road also leads to another road, then that road will also lead to another road. But now he doubt if he want to come back again. He knew that once the decision is taken and walked over, you cannot come back. So now he is in a doubt. Now the meaning of equally lay means similar and trodden means walk over. Now we will see the literary devices. Here also the poet has used enjambment. In the first line itself, you all can see this line is continuing to the next line without any punctuation mark, and there is also rhyming scheme A B A A B. So same rhyming scheme is there. as we have seen in the first and second stanza. Now we will move to the last stanza of the poem. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. So now here the meaning of sigh means deep breath, and the meaning of hence means the future. Now here in this stanza, the poet is telling us the impact of his choice that he has taken in the past on his future. He is telling us that after many years, means ages and ages hence, means after many years, I will tell this with a deep breath, with a deep sigh, that once upon a time I was at such a point where there were two roads in a forest, and I travelled on a road, on a path which has been less traveled by the people, the road which was not used by many of the people. And that choice has made me what I am today, and that has made all the difference in my life. Now we will see the literary devices that the poet has used in the poem. First, he is telling about the enjambment. As you all can see in the first stanza, first line of this stanza, that is enjambment means the first sentence is continuing to the another line without any punctuation mark. Then the second literary device is repetition. First I will tell you the meaning of repetition. Repetition means when a word is repeated multiple times. Now here the poet has also used repetition in the second line, that is ages and ages, hence ages word is repeated. And also there is rhyming scheme, which is as same as the first, second and third stanza. Okay, the same rhyming scheme is also there in the fourth stanza. Now, the message of the poem is that we people also have many choices in our life, but we should choose the correct one who shape our future in a better way. Now, this poem is giving us some relevant message, some important message that can shape our present as well as our future. The path that we choose today will decide our tomorrow, as we have to be very careful while choosing the path or the option that we have in our life. But because once we choose, one cannot come back and take on another path. There should not be any regret in the future. So, I hope you all understood the lesson and you all have also enjoyed. So with this we finish with our poem. Thank you.